The following video was captured in Germany by a man called Tom Kern, and it was really choking. For his entire life, he had no belief in the paranormal, and the fact that something suddenly changed, this was crazy. He was sitting in his home one day, minding his own business, when he heard a weird sound from the kitchen, so decided to go and check it out. Curious, he brought a camera with him to see what was up, and that is when this was caught.
So, jetzt haben wir wirklich einen Hausgeist. Das kann jetzt keiner mehr aufstreiten. Bist du deppert? Das klappt mir echt keine Sau. Alter Schwede!
Out of nowhere, the cabinet opened on its own accord, and it was almost as if someone or something had deliberately done it. In order to make things even more spooky, a canister of some sort dropped out of the cabinet without any human contact, and this was clearly captured on the camera. I wish Tom luck in banishing this spirit, because I know for sure if he doesn't, this thing will be a real pest. Alex Huff is an aspiring social media influencer who constantly posts videos online to try and gain some form of audience. At the moment, she makes makeup tutorials and your average get ready with me videos. But that is besides the point. The clip that I am about to expose your eyes to took place during one of these innocent videos, being filmed, but for a change, things were far from innocent. Something evil was present.
Hey guys, so someone commented in one of my videos, like the bronzer highlighter I use, and I use the Milani 05 Soleil. So I'm gonna try that on, and no.
Strangely, the closet behind Alex slowly opened on its own, and like any human naturally would, she stood up to check it out. As she approached the closet though, things got even more frightening, because the light flicked itself on and off, and this was not an electrical issue, because Alex claimed the switch physically moved. After this incident, Alex has complained to everyone she knows about her house, and is adamant about moving out in the near future. I definitely would be too. One of the most common reactions to finding out your house is haunted is trying to gather as much evidence as possible, because in this modern society, it's almost impossible to make people believe you. The people that actually have belief in these paranormal happenings are painted out to be psychopathic or just outright weird, which forces the victims to get real and raw footage. Our next clip is an example of somebody trying to do that, and it took place in a kitchen. Victor was convinced his home was haunted, but just wanted evidence, which is why this recording came about. So have a look.
Go!
As insane as this is to believe, the pan literally started to float, which would scare the living hell out of anybody. Victor proceeded to throw it into the trash the next day and see no more of it, and in fairness, it did stop the ghost from coming back. Who knows if it got recycled though, because if it has been, who knows who will deal with the ghost next. There is a saying that a lot of people who believe in the spiritual world tend to use, and it is, don't whistle past midnight because it might disturb the spirits. Whenever someone says this, they usually get a weird look, but a man called Wyatt decided to put it to the test. For the past few nights, he's been whistling with the deliberate intention of disturbing ghosts, and in this clip, he tried to get it on camera. Did he succeed? Well, I'll let you take a look and find out for yourself.
Like right now, I'm just sitting here in my living room. We're about to move. We're getting the hell out of here. I'm playing some video games. And like people are saying, oh, how do you know which cabinet's going to open? It's always the same cabinet. Watch. Okay. Oh, here. Hold on. Watch this. This is going to creep you out. There's nobody in here. You guys, if you don't believe me, there's nobody in here. Seriously. Holy shit. You guys, seriously, you guys have asked for it.
Upon whistling, the cabinet opened, which pretty much proved the old saying. Just to be sure that this wasn't any sort of anomaly though, Wyatt did it again, and this time, the door behind him came open with a sudden jolt. He picked up the camera to prove that nobody was on the other side, and when he came back into the original room, every single cabinet and drawer was open. The weirdest thing about this is that none of them made any noise, and this happened almost silently. If you can deny the existence of ghosts after this clip, then you must be insane. After the incident, Wyatt went into a huge phase of trying to discover what caused the haunting. He spoke to several professionals in the industry, watched educational videos on YouTube, and even started going to church in hopes that that would perhaps have an effect on the ghost's power. Eventually, he found a hint, and an expert told him to consider items he had brought in from other countries, because ghosts can sometimes attach in that way. So Wyatt thought of his foreign currency pile immediately. This was more than certainly the right call.
Okay, so you guys have asked me to check in on this. I told you it'd take me a few days to settle down. I think I pinpointed the cause of this ghost, and I honestly think it's this money. I have this money from all over the world. Australia, Malaysia, Japan, Hong Kong. But anytime I get close to this change here, I feel this. I'm gonna move closer and listen. Ah, dude. Just real quick, this is part of what's in the box that I've been searching out to figure out what's in there. Dude. Oh, right, damn it, too. I'm not playing with this anymore, dude. I mean, it's even back here. I'm not. That's from Dubai, Afghanistan, Iraq, Canada, Mexico. That hurt.
Putting the noises to the side, the most crazy part of this clip was the change collapsing to the ground alongside the box, because Wyatt managed to keep the entire surrounding area in frame, and nothing could have caused this. Immediately after, he sent it to the person who told him this, who agreed to come over and have a little investigation themselves. The only problem with this was that it was going to take him one whole week to find time to visit, which was way too long to be dealing with an evil spirit. This made every night horrible and on edge for Wyatt, with the one that I am about to showcase in particular being the worst. The time was 3 o'clock in the morning when this took place.
I keep hearing sounds in my bathroom. I don't know what it is. I haven't whistled, I haven't messed with this thing. Holy crap. No freaking way. Did you see that?
Yes.
Did you see that? It's okay. Okay, you'll say I'm cutting, so I'm gonna go nice and slow here. Right there. There's no way somebody slipped out right there. My back's against the wall. There's nothing in the closet. No feet, no nothing. Holy crap. Nope. Not tonight.
despite being a deep sleeper, Wyatt was awoken by mysterious noises coming from his bathroom, and he was 100% sure that it was the spirit. However, he hadn't whistled or messed with it in any way, so it made no sense as to why it chose to make an appearance. When the noises wouldn't stop, Wyatt started filming and caught some sort of shadow apparition in the doorway. It was undeniably that of a ghost, and it was unfortunate that he had to wait so long for professional help. To his fortune, it came, and the ghost was eradicated eventually, though. The following video was captured in Germany by a man called Tom Kern, and it was really choking. For his entire life, he had no belief in the paranormal, and the fact that something suddenly changed, this was crazy. He was sitting in his home one day, minding his own business, when he heard a weird sound from the kitchen, so decided to go and check it out. Curious, he brought a camera with him to see what was up, and that is when this was caught.
Okay, I was just hearing some scary noises coming from the entrance, and this just happened. I'm out here in my living room again, which is right by where that chair moved the other night. And I don't know, there's just been like scary shit going on around that. What was that? Oh, shit! Oh, no. What the f***? Okay, this shit is getting too fucked to believe. Okay, Leo, great-grandpa, whatever. I got the key. Oh, shit. I got the keys. I'm gonna try to find whatever they unlock. I feel like that's what you want me to do. Stop scaring the shit out of me. I'm gonna do this. Stop scaring the shit out of me.
Out of nowhere, the cabinet opened on its own accord, and it was almost as if someone or something had deliberately done it. In order to make things even more spooky, a canister of some sort dropped out of the cabinet without any human contact, and this was clearly captured on the camera. I wish Tom luck in banishing this spirit, because I know for sure if he doesn't, this thing will be a real pest. Sometimes things just look too real for it to be a ghost, and this next clip definitely falls under that category. Wataru was in his flat doing everyday activities, such as revising for his degree, when he suddenly realized something was on his desk that shouldn't be. Confused, he picked it up and brought it back to the shelf where it belonged, before dropping it to the ground out of pure shock from what he saw.
ตรงนี้ต้องวางตรงนี้เอ้ย เฮ้ยโว้ใครวะ
What looked like a real person was scraping its hands and face across his window, as if it was trying to escape, so Wataru quickly looked in case someone was going to fall from the building. When he realized nothing was on the other side, that's when he noticed that things were far from okay, and he needed to find help as quickly as possible. NQ is a notorious ghost hunter on YouTube, but in recent times, a lot of his content has been ridiculed for being fake, and obviously set up by his team. Most viewers hopped on the trend and called him a liar, without even checking for themselves. But one subscriber had a different idea. He decided to visit the location that the staged allegations sparked from. When NQ was here, all sorts of things moved without any human interaction, but many viewers spot strings attached to them. This video sought out to prove NQ right. Have a watch. First of all, a mysterious noise was heard, and this forced the man investigating to up his guard. He looked around the CityLink basement for any signs of something that could potentially move, and was drawn to the box, and to his surprise, it started to move, proving NQ's video of the place to be a valid one. The subscriber got out of there as quickly as he possibly could, and then uploaded the clip to YouTube, in hopes that it'd get traction. He managed to show 6,000 views that NQ was not a faker. Kelsey and Jamie were sleeping on a regular Saturday night when they were awoken by something very unexpected. Some odd sounds were occurring downstairs, and it almost sounded as if somebody else was in the house, so one of them needed to go and investigate. Jamie was fast asleep and really sick, so Kelsey did not want to force him down the stairs. She bravely volunteered to investigate and brought her mobile device with her. This is what she was able to record on camera.
Okay guys, it's after 2 in the morning and I just got up. Jamie's still... What in the hell? Jamie's still asleep. Oh my god, oh my god. These cupboards, I'm so afraid of them opening. I'm just gonna shut the water off here. Oh my god. I just shut that off and that is rolling. Look at this thing. It's rocking back and forth. Oh my god. Leave me alone. Jamie?
It was more than clear that nobody had invaded the house, and the only thing that had really made its way in was a poltergeist. This house had never experienced paranormal activity before, and furthermore, Kelsey and Jamie had never witnessed anything like it. This was a first-time experience, and that explains why she was so shook by what she came across. She told Jamie, and they both decided to do nothing about it due to their complete lack of knowledge. They hid under the coverts for the rest of the night and struggled to sleep for a brief period in the future. The following video was captured by the same YouTube channel that the first clip of this video involved, NQ. NQ was notorious for posting haunting findings to his YouTube channel, and they were always in the most obscure places that you would not be able to predict would have been a place brewing spirits. However, this video differed from the rest. Somehow, one of the poltergeists he encountered in another location must have traced him back to his home and decided to permanently haunt NQ. This is what it did, but before I show you, did you know that you can have your ghostly findings broadcasted on my channel too? That's right. All you have to do is email hauntertvofficial@gmail.com and attach your clips alongside a description of what happened and why it happened. If you do those 3 steps correctly, your clip will be in an upcoming video for certain. Anyways, here is the clip that NQ captured within his own home.
TV going here? See, there's no strings or anything. Nothing back there. Nothing from the top, all the way down the sides.
Strangely, the television started to shake aggressively, and learning from his past mistakes that led to him being called a liar, NQ got as close as he could and made sure to show everybody that there were no strings attached. Now, NQ was an expert when it came to things like this, so unlike others who would contact a ghost hunter in this situation, he just banished the spirit on his own and succeeded. Being home alone can only go one of two ways, and these ways contrast massively. It either becomes one of the most chill times of your life, or one of the most unnerving and terrifying moments occurs, and it was the latter for the man who recorded the series of videos that I am going to expose your poor eyes to shortly. His name was Pete, and one night when he was all by himself, some odd stuff started to happen, which led to him taking out his camera. It was a good thing that he did, because what he captured was extraordinary.
So I'm hearing the shit again, and I'm alone. Jesus Christ. And I'm alone, too. Jesus fucking... Oh my God. Oh my God. There was something behind that. There was something behind that. Nope. Nope. Nope.
No matter where Pete went in this household, the spirit followed, and he captured everything that a victim possibly could. What this series of events was called is a paranormal surge, and it refers to when 5 or more ghostly events happen within a 5-minute time span of each other. People are heavily advised to leave their house if one of these things happens to them, and Pete was clearly on the smarter side for doing this. For the following few days, he refused to go back to his home and took residence in his mother's house, promising to purchase his own food and things that he planned on using whilst he was there. However, he was only given a 2-day stay and was forced back to his place that he believed to be ridiculed with evil spirits. Throughout the next week or so, he could have sworn he continuously saw a shadow figure gliding between doors and exploring the property, but without any proof, he was too frightened to raise this concern to social media. One day, though, he hit the jackpot.
Oh, please tell me I got that on video. Please tell me I got that on video. That's why I put my phone up there. Nobody's in here. That scared me. Nobody's in here. Nobody's behind the door. Nobody's underneath the bed. Nobody's under the bed. Nobody's in the closet. Nobody's going out the room. In the closet. This is where I keep my laundry baskets. Nobody's here. And then the lights are going on and off. This is great. Bathroom. No. Utility closet. Nothing. Living room, kitchen. Nothing. And the lights are still doing that. And the remote, I don't know. I've lost the remote. That's the remote.
Somehow, Pete managed to get the phenomenon on video and made sure to venture the entire building to make sure that the audience knew there was no way this shadow was a real person. I cannot fathom how terrified Pete must have been in this situation. Coming face to face with a spirit, even if it is just a shadow, is not for the weak, and luckily, Pete did not come under the weak category. He debated asking his father to stay at his house for the weekend because he had split up with his mother, meaning there was no way for him to know he stayed at her house a weeky prior, but went against the idea. It was cruel, forcing himself upon his parents' care. He came to the decision to stay in the house and give it one more chance, but of course that chance failed within a day.
There's something knocking at the door. not supposed to be here yet. Nope. Go away. She's not supposed to be here yet. I didn't hear her car. Her keys are not here.
This was the weirdest incident of the three because the ghost somehow mimicked the voice of somebody that was actually scheduled to be at the house in due course. It continuously knocked in an attempt to be let into the room, and this is what created the most silly decision that Pete made during these clips. He let it inside. The rest of his night was horrible, and the room became extremely active. This is when he came to the right conclusion that the house needed to be sold, and it is currently on the market at a rather cheap price. Roughly 6 months before the upcoming video was recorded, Lucy had a very haunted house. Her bedroom door would knock uncontrollably, her objects would displace themselves overnight, and she would often hear voices echoing around her kitchen. All of these things combined made it obvious that the place had a ghost occupying it, and she hired a ghost hunter to resolve the issue. Soon enough, one came to the house, and after he left, everything was supposed to be fine, and it was. For the next 6 months, absolutely nothing out of the ordinary happened, and Lucy was finally able to have some peace and comfort inside of her own home. This did not last forever, though. Unfortunately, on the 6-month anniversary of getting rid of the spirit, this happened. Her door knocked aggressively, and this was exactly what the old spirit used to do to her when it got late. She started having flashbacks to all of the previous times she had to go through this, and had no idea what the next steps should be, considering the ghost hunter did not do much in the long term. Comment down below if you have any suggestions for her, and you might as well subscribe too. The Midwest ghost hunter goes on all sorts of crazy adventures, and the one that I am about to show you is one of his most daring yet. He decided to visit an abandoned and haunted asylum that was absolutely ridiculed with spirits, and over my last few videos, I have been showcasing the horrors that he has managed to capture on camera. From flying fruits to unexplained noises, this place has had it all so far, but at the same time hasn't even offered half of what it has in store. The Midwest ghost hunter was walking up the stairs when this clip began to see if it was worse up there, and this is what happened.
Hello? Is there anybody up here? This whole place is unbelievably creepy. I can only imagine what it's gonna be like walking through the actual asylum wing. Is there anyone up here? What the hell was that? Whoa! Holy shit! Dude, that was a loud freaking bang. Is there somebody down there? Whoa! Whoa! That door just opened! Oh, I literally just saw that.
Oh my god. Dude, I cannot believe that. Already a door freaking opened. Oh god, and now it's shut. When did that happen? Oh god, do I dare freaking look? Look at that. It's slightly moving. There is no one. There is nobody. So then, how the hell did this door open? And look at that. It naturally shuts on its own. So whatever opened this had to have some good amount of force.
The unexplained noises came back again, and for those of you who do not know, this YouTuber does all of his explorations alone, so nobody else should have been in the vicinity. He identified the noise to have come from downstairs, so asked if there was anybody down there, and this is where the real fright happened. The door somehow opened itself and triggered a state of panic for the man who did not expect something so scary to happen so early into the challenge. Regardless of his expectations, it happened though, and there is far more to come for him. Subscribe so you do not miss future videos where this ghost hunter will 100% be featured. Speaking about features you can feature in future Haunter videos by simply emailing me at hauntertvofficial@gmail.com and sending over the clips that you want to have a feature. Include the clips alongside a description of why and what happened so that I know the story and I will include you in an upcoming video for sure. Why would you want to miss out on such a fun opportunity? Chris was spending a quiet evening at home when something immediately threw the vibe off. He was upstairs, just relaxing like normal, when he heard this sudden bang from downstairs, loud enough to jolt him out of his seat. Now, Chris isn't the type to jump to conclusions, but this sound wasn't like anything falling or shifting. It had weight behind it. Curiosity got the best of him, so he decided to grab his phone and check it out. As he headed down the stairs, he kept recording, just in case. That's when things took a very weird turn. On the wall in the hallway was this decorative Santa face, the kind you see hanging during the holidays. As Chris panned the camera, the Santa moved, not once but twice. It wasn't just swinging from a breeze or sliding down a nail. It tilted, paused, and shifted again. You can clearly see there's no one near it, and no windows are open. Chris was understandably shaken, and that Santa didn't stick around much longer. The day after, he burned it in the fireplace. I can't say I blame him. Festive or not, that thing had to go. Leandro had known for weeks that something in his house wasn't right, but he kept it to himself, because every time he even hinted at it, people looked at him like he was insane. He wasn't about to be labeled the psycho friend, so he stayed quiet. But the longer he waited, the worse it got, and eventually he decided enough was enough. He pulled out his phone and started recording, hoping to finally catch something on camera that could prove he wasn't just losing it.
Mais dia normal. Tem espírito preso na casa. Será que está tentando me dizer algo?
Tô vendo barulho aqui agora. De novo, gente, eu já tô cansado disso já.
Acredite se quiser.
Olha isso. Olha aqui. Olha isso, gente. Olha aqui na cozinha. Meu Deus do céu, o que é isso, velho? Olha isso. Que isso, cara? Olha isso aqui. O ventilador ligou sozinho. Olha isso. Ai, que isso? Estou com medo. O ventilador ligou, desligou. Olha isso.
In the footage, it all happens at once. His kitchen appliances started dropping all over the place. Then his standing fan moved on its own accord. And finally, a folded cloth on the counter just dropped without being touched. The room feels like it's under siege, and Leandro barely manages to hold the camera steady through it all. There's no one else there, no wires or strings, and no explanation that makes any sort of sense. It's the kind of clip you have to watch twice just to believe, and this was only the beginning, because a few days later, even more evidence was discovered. A few days after the chaos in the kitchen, Leandro decided to finally reach out to a ghost hunter. The issue was, the investigator wouldn't commit to a visit unless there was more footage to go on. So Leandro and his wife came up with a plan. They had both noticed something off about this old porcelain doll they kept in the living room. Every time they left it facing forward, it somehow ended up facing the wall. They decided to test it properly. With the camera rolling, Leandro's wife carefully turned the doll toward the lens, making sure it was clearly visible and properly positioned.
Eu comprei uma boneca de guardar sacola, mas ela não gosta que ninguém olhe pra ela.
Pera, deixa eu pegar um. Não vou ficar aqui sozinho, não. Caralho, tá caindo tudo aqui. Deixa eu pegar aqui a vassoura que eu vi.
Minha mãe foi pegar uma vassoura, dois corajosos.
Do nada aqui, sozinho em casa. E eu levei um susto, achei que eu que tava vendo coisa. A mãe foi lá pegar a vassoura pra mexer nele. Vira ela pra frente. Eu vou jogar esse troço fora, eu vou queimar. Cuidado, vira ela pra frente. Ui.
Coitada bichinha.
Ela vira de costa toda vez que arrumava ela pra frente.
Não, vira ela pra frente. Aí. Aí.
O que você pôs nela?
Como assim?
Eu tô voando.
Sei lá. O trem começou a se mexer do nada. Olha lá.
Eu tô voando aqui.
Olha lá a mão dela. Ui.
Você
joga
fez?
fora.
Para, amigo, pelo amor de Deus.
Oi. Eita, pega.
As the seconds ticked by, it slowly but clearly shifted back around to face the wall again. No human interference, no obvious triggers, just a slow and chilling movement that looked almost deliberate. This was enough to get the ghost hunter's attention. He showed up that same weekend and spent hours combing through the house. According to him, there was definitely a presence in the home, something that had become attached to a particular object, likely the doll. After a short ritual and a cleansing, the disturbances began to fade, and for now, the house has gone quiet. Victor and his friend were spending the evening at Victor's place when something strange caught their attention. They were just hanging out in the living room, not really expecting anything out of the ordinary, when Victor noticed something odd. His rug kept ending up in a slightly different position every time he looked at it. It wasn't drastic, just enough to be unsettling. After a while, curiosity got the better of him and he decided to start recording, hoping he might catch whatever was going on in action.
Не добавился никуда, нет еще. Она такая красивая, да?
Я вспомнил просто, что нашла лаву.
Ну, она такая красивая, в жизни такая толстая. Ну вот, в принципе, толстая.
Жесть.
Снял? Да? Охуенно. Вообще цепь напишу пиздец. Прям чувствую, сука, хочется. Бывает такое. Сходилось, может, пизда.
Sure enough, as the camera rolls, the rug slowly drags itself a few inches across the floor without a single foot touching it. There's no breeze, no pets, and no strings. It just moves. The room is silent, but the tension in the clip is heavy. After this, Victor's friend refused to sleep on the same floor and insisted on staying upstairs for the rest of the visit. Victor ends up contacting a local medium who believes the house has residual energy attached to something beneath the floorboards. Whether they dig it up or not, we'll have to wait and see. Lorita, a mother of 3, was home with her children when she suddenly noticed signs that someone had broken into the house. Panicked, she grabbed 2 of her kids and ran outside, only to realize moments later that their youngest was still inside. Without hesitation, Lorita rushed back in, but as she tried to find her 3rd child, things took a terrifying turn. It wasn't a man in the house after all, but something else.
Come over here. Shit. Oh, what happened? Dude, run. There's a guy inside. Okay. Run. Hey, where's your sister? She's in her room sleeping. She's inside? Yeah. Dude, look. There's a shadow right there. What the heck? Told you there was somebody in here. Amber, baby, come here. Look. No. The door just closed over there. Amber. Baby, come here. Are you in here? Oh, dude. I pulled the door back. Oh my god. What is that? Sounds like a front door. What do I do? Let's go to the front door, Milos. Nobody's there. No one's at the front door. Who rang the doorbell then? It's knocking, but there's nobody there. Dude. There's no one there. Should I open it? No. The noise is coming back. It's getting louder and louder. Oh my. Now it's the doorbell again? What is going on here?
The front door kept ringing as if someone was aggressively spamming the doorbell, and no matter how hard Lorita tried, the door to her youngest child's room wouldn't open. It felt like an invisible force was blocking their way, keeping them trapped from reaching the child. The fear was overwhelming. Since that night, Lorita and her family have been desperately trying to find a new place to live, hoping to escape whatever spirit has made their home its own. They're planning to move as soon as they can, because no one should have to live with something so relentless and frightening inside their own walls. A ghost hunter was offered $500 to investigate a house suspected of being haunted, and he decided to take the job. For a long time, nothing unusual happened, and he started to question whether the whole thing was just a waste of time. He debated leaving more than once, but chose to stay and keep looking for answers. Suddenly, the door in one of the rooms began rattling violently, as if something was trying to get out or in. The hunter carefully searched behind the door, but found nothing at all. No hidden compartments, no tricks, just empty space. Despite the lack of physical evidence, the eerie rattling convinced him that there was definitely some kind of presence in the house. After spending a few more hours investigating and sensing the energy shift, he concluded that the place was haunted and recommended the owners consider a spiritual cleansing. They agreed and planned to bring in specialists to help rid the house of the restless spirit. Ian, a well-known ghost hunter who has appeared on this channel before, was exploring a notoriously haunted asylum all by himself. As he moved through the dim hallways, he suddenly noticed a broom leaning against the wall start to move on its own. Instinctively, he turned the camera to capture the strange activity.
Is there someone up here? Making noises? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to think it could be a false alarm. Maybe not. That definitely sounded like it was in here. In here. And you know what? If you look out there. The wind has stopped. So that totally rules that out. Which is scary because those sounds were so loud. I nearly pissed myself. Luckily I wasn't recording. That would have been embarrassing. Who's down there? You know, I can't help but think about that spirit box session that was on this floor. That right there, or not that one, right there. That's John Oliver's room. I'm just thinking about what he said. Because I have a bad feeling right now. Whoever's down there, come on out. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Dude, something just ran across that hall! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh, come on, you just calm down. Oh, Jesus. I'm whimpering and screaming like a little freaking baby.
The broom slowly slides across the floor, and shortly after, a chilling voice clearly warns him to get out now. The atmosphere instantly thickens with tension, but despite the warning, Ian decides to stay a little longer, determined to uncover more evidence. What happens next is even more intense, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video where this story continues. In the following video, a young teenager by the name of Miguel was staying at his auntie's house with his parents and cousin due to her passing away recently. They were sent to help empty and clear the house, which was a controversial decision in itself because they were very close with her. As a reward for coming down to help out, Miguel's cousin had been given a brand new cell phone that had been passed down from his auntie. Him and Miguel decided to test out the camera quality on this device by walking around, and it was here that they came across something terrifying.
A ver, yo creo que acá uno juega muchas cosas cuando compite, pero algo que uno nunca puede poner en la palestra a la hora de competir es la salud de uno, que a la larga en un futuro jugarse la vida. Yo creo que hay que saber cuándo parar. Y la verdad, doy gracias a Juanito. ¡Chucha!
Out of seemingly nowhere, the cupboard door flew open and it had a lot of significance to their auntie. It was her most used cupboard, and she stored things such as her slippers, toiletries, and more importantly, her memory box inside of it. With this information in hand, experts have deciphered that this spirit was the spirit of their auntie, reminding them that she was still present, despite that presence being spiritual. I doubt the house will sell for much with this information though, which is unfortunate. Hassan was in his bathroom doing a task as simple as brushing his teeth when he noticed that something was off about the place. He explained that a cold and disturbing feeling surrounded the air out of nowhere, and that it was almost as if something else had entered the bathroom with him. This triggered Hassan's natural instincts, and he knew that something was going to happen, so dropped his toothbrush and pulled out his phone, opening the camera app. Did anything actually happen? Well, you'll have to take a look and see.
Se escuchó un ruido aquí en esta parte de la cocina, pero... ¡Ah, caray! ¿Qué fue eso? No manches. ¿Se movió el vaso? ¿O es mi imaginación? Ay, pensé que era mi imaginación. Ah, caray, caray. Qué raro. Yo creo que mejor me voy. Lentes. ¿Qué es eso?
Strangely, the item below the sink started moving without any human interaction, and furthermore, it was beyond evident that there were no strings or anything of that sort attached. After the incident, Hassan stopped the recording and wondered what he should actually do about it. He came to the conclusion that putting the item in the trash would be the best way forward, and so he did it, never seeing the item again. And fortunately, his wishes followed. From this point forwards, Hassan's life was spirit-free. Paranormal activity becomes ever more upsetting when you realize that the majority of the time, the victims are completely and utterly undeserving of the torment. What makes it even worse is when the innocent victim is a child, because they are way too young to be exposed and frightened to such an extent. The following video was filmed by an 11-year-old girl who noticed things moving downstairs. She decided to use her new phone to record what was happening and was frighteningly shouting at her mother to come and aid her due to being overwhelmed with fear. Clearly, the camera aggravated the spirit more though, because this happened.
Mamá, venga, se está moviendo la silla. Mamá. Mamá, venga. Mamá. Mamá. Mamá.
First of all, the chair started rocking, but that was happening beforehand, meaning that it didn't have any correlation to the fact the girl was recording the incident. After recording though, the little car moved on its own accord, followed by a few other things which would have terrified me, let alone a child of such a young age. The video that I am about to expose you to is one of, if not the most mysterious clips on my entire channel. This is because no matter how deep I have attempted to dig, I have found absolutely no background information on it. All we know is that it was presumably captured by a YouTuber called Anonymous Serial because they uploaded it, and that it was posted on August the 19th of 2012. The description also reads, "This video was recorded from an Android phone, making it ever more vague and spooky." Have a look. After analyzing this video, seeking more details, it becomes evident that it was captured within a home, and the person filming is quite young as far as I can tell. Furthermore, the ghost was rather relaxed compared to other ones that we have seen, because all it was doing was opening and closing the fridge, which is nothing too severe whatsoever. I do still hope that whoever recorded this video, from wherever place is okay though, and that they approached this situation and handled it in the correct manner. Luis was not the type to go around exploring haunted facilities for fun, but roughly 1 month after his mother passed away, he decided that he was going to give it a shot. She was buried inside of an old graveyard that was said to be riddled with paranormal activity, and she decided that she wanted her deathbed to be there. This is because she used the logic that if it was a really paranormal place, then the chances were she would become a ghost too, and her family supported her decision despite not being in complete agreement. Anyway, fast forward back to Luis. He came to the decision that he was going to visit the graveyard and see if anything mother-related happened. He went in blind with equipment, and this is what happened.
Mande dijo. Dijo mande. Dijo mande. ¿Hombre o mujer? O se escuchó un hombre. Pero también se escuchó una mujer. Soy Ruth, dijo. Dijo así, no soy Ruth. Oye, Ruth otra vez. Sí, a Ruth dijo. No mames, vete a la... Dijo mi nombre. Luis dijo. Para los que no saben, yo me llamo Luis. A la madre. Dijo mi nombre, plebes. Y no se lo pregunté. No mames. No.
The spirit that was haunting him shortly before this particular clip somehow identified his name, and this led him to believe that it was the ghost of his mother. Furthermore, there was no cold energy around him, which was usually not the case when a poltergeist is present, meaning it must have been a friendly one at the bare minimum. Luis was scared of this presence, but knowing it may have been his mother, persisted through it, and was able to get us another piece of footage to watch.
Sí. ¿Quieres ayuda? Ruth. Sí. ¿Dónde estás? Dime dónde estás exactamente. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás? Espera, se me está cayendo esta cosa que tengo. No sé cómo agarrar todo. Perdón, amigos. Me está temblando mucho la mano. La busco entre tumbas. Ahí no quiero grabar. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Hola? ¿Dónde estás?
This time he heard a sound from across the graveyard, and from the sounds of it, it very obviously was not a naturally occurring noise. It was as if something had fallen over. And listen up, because this is where things get interesting. The sound came from nearby to Louis' mother's grave, meaning that it may have been her causing this. He believes that to this day. The time was just 14 past midnight, and Antonio was home alone. His children were staying over at their grandmother's because the house was being renovated, and these renovations were happening above their bedroom, which would have made it impossible for them to sleep. Antonio and his wife were having a long, restless night, so at around 11:45, they decided to give up on sleeping and got back out of bed. It was on his way to the sitting room that Antonio came across something very peculiar, though. Have a watch.
Claudia,
The item moved on its own accord, and it was beyond obvious that there was nothing that could have been interacting with it. Upon several zoom-ins, I was unable to expose any invisible wire or any kind of force acting on the item. After the incident, Antonio took the item out to the trash and told his children that it had broken, promising to purchase them a new one the next time that he got paid. This turned out to be the correct move, because him and his family never noticed anything of the sort again. On December the 5th of 2024, Max and his wife heard some peculiar sounds coming from the guest bedroom. An important note to make before I proceed is that the couple had not had a child together, and they were the only two people living inside of the house, making it impossible for this to have been natural. The time was 1:45, and they had both been watching television in the sitting room when this happened.
Hey. Yeah. Did you hear baby crying? Yeah, I opened the door. Oh, I thought that's why you opened the door. I heard it crying a long time in here.
Out of nowhere, the sound of a baby crying echoed around the entire house, and as I previously mentioned, they did not have any children living inside of the household. Max went inside of the room to investigate the scene, and the camera picked up something shocking following behind, a ghostly orb. This confirmed that the crying had been caused by some sort of spirit, and the family are currently in the process of eradicating it before it becomes too powerful and it comes to the point where they take action too late. We wish them luck in this, and a priest would likely be the most cost-efficient approach. If you have ever watched a video from this channel before, then there is a 99.9% chance that you have heard of Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter. He goes on all sorts of haunting adventures and posts really long videos stacked with clips to his YouTube channel, making it the perfect breeding ground for clips for this channel. The upcoming piece of footage came from a video where he visited a haunted asylum for a ghost hunt, and it definitely lived up to its name. Here is a clip from the video.
Whoa. There's something in that photo. It looks like a figure peeking out of that room. Hello? Is there someone in there? I wonder if this is Lulu's room. I guess there's only one way to find out. Yep, there it is. Lulu, I think I just seen you peering out from your room. Were you watching me? Whoa! Whoa! She just started by! Oh my god! I literally just seen her bolt in here. She just went from right to left. And she ran over somewhere this way. Lulu, I know you're in here. Are you running around your room? Ooh. Whoa. Sorry. You just spooked me a little bit there. Are you making noise over here? Could you make another noise? I'm trying to take a whole bunch of photos. I'm getting orbs. She is definitely in here. You have a very beautiful room, Lulu. Is that one of the cribs? The old cribs that you used when you were a mother? I'm very sorry about the horrible things that happened to you.
It was very obvious that someone or something was inside of the room with him, but whether or not it was who he referred to as Lulu or not is unknown information. What we do know is that despite seeing a figure peeking around the entrance, an orb flying across the room, and an unexplained noise, Ian pushed on through, showing just how brave he really is. Remember to subscribe for more haunting videos, especially considering Ian will be in a lot of them. Kyle and his wife lived together with their 2 children and were content with their lives. They had owned the house for roughly 3 years now and were pretty much done with all of the renovations that they wanted to implement, meaning that the house was perfect for them. However, there was one part of the house that they really did not like and never really thought of patching up that the video I am about to show you reminded them of. At the bottom of their home, they had a wooden door with nothing but wooden pegs keeping it closed, and this was a silly part of the house because it made it easy to break into without a key. Well, one day the realization that somebody could have made their way in hit them, and Kyle had to go and investigate.
All right, we woke up to the banging sound outside of our bedroom again. It sounded like it was coming from outside, yet again. But I think I know where it's coming from, so I'm gonna show you. Right there. I think it's coming from there. Something is banging on that. It's happened, it happened last night, it happened 2 nights ago. That's our bedroom window right there. I hope there's nothing trapped in there, raccoon, I don't know. But it's been freaking us out, waking us up. So we're gonna take a look. Goodness gracious. See very far down there. Let me see if my light helps. I can't see all the way to the end, but I don't see anything. And that goes around a corner. I don't know if I can even fit between the blocks and that pipe, but I guess we're gonna have to take a look in there. Fuck.
Something had been doing this for the past 3 days, and at first, they believed some form of animal had made it inside, but the knocking was way too persistent. In the possibility that something was trapped in there and needed help, Kyle decided that it was a smart idea to go and investigate, and his wife encouraged it, but nothing was there at first. He went back inside, buckled up some courage, and went back to explore deeper.
All right, curiosity's got the best of me. I must slide up in here. Oh gosh, dang it. Bear with me. Oh shit. Oh my god. It's tighter than catfish in the sardine can around here. Y'all, I don't think I can wedge myself in between that block and that pipe. There's a hole down there. I don't know, y'all. This might have to wait for the mid-season finale. We can go this way though. Pocket cobwebs. I should have brought me something to swat these away with. Yuck. All right, let's have a look. Fuck, creepy. Why the hell am I doing this? The things we do for fucking TikTok views, gosh dang, cobwebs, y'all. Oh my god. Oh gosh, am I gonna crawl up underneath there? Is that a hole too? Maybe that goes to the sump pump, I don't know. Do I really want to crawl down there? Look at the fuck. What is that? No, nuh-uh. Y'all, I'm sick of finding shit in my fucking house, y'all. This.
Now the average viewer would not be able to identify this object, and to be completely honest with you guys, I did not have the slightest of ideas at first. However, I have done my job and done some research into the object. It appears to be a piece to a Ouija board, which is a device that humans use to contact spirits, and this told Kyle one thing: there must have been a human down there, and it was evident that they had a belief in the paranormal world. He was quick to turn around and make an escape from the crawl space, not wanting to put himself at risk of any danger. If he had any survival instinct about him, then he should have called the local authorities though, but he did not. In fact, Kyle went down there again 2 days later, despite his wife begging him to refrain from it. This is what he captured.
All right, fine. I'm gonna go get the little box. But y'all need to understand something. Let me sit down. Y'all crawl space people are new around here. Y'all weren't here for my attic videos. I've already found creepy shit in my house. That's why I ran out of here last time. I found this box in my attic, and it had a creepy doll in it that didn't have any eyeballs. There was a journal in there that had a bunch of numbers in it, like some kind of code, and creepy drawings. What else? There was just a bunch of stuff in there. It's like a bunch of cursed items or something, and weird shit's been going on in my house. I'm just fed up with this shit. But y'all want me to go get it, so we'll go get it. Let's go. And everybody's talking about my crawl space being weird. I don't know. That's the basement. Basement wall. I don't know what's going on. I didn't build it. And that's a can, I guess. I don't know. RC Cola. Royal Crown Cola. All right. Okay. That's what I was talking about. It wasn't no insulation what I was talking about. I was talking about that little thing there. It's like a little heart-shaped box. Oh, gosh dang. It's that thing. That's it right there. Can you just be empty? Can you just be empty?
This was a big plot twist in the story of Kyle because he found that this was not a part of a Ouija box, completely disproving his theory that a real person was hiding inside of his crawl space. He picked up the object, and it was a little box that probably had a sweet and innocent use back in the day, but now turned to the horrors of the paranormal realm. Kyle opened the box out of pure curiosity, and what he revealed was shocking. It was a pair of eyes, and if you connect the puzzle pieces together, this discovery completely shifts the tide of this story. In the past, Kyle discovered a doll with missing eyes in his attic, and these eyes that he found in the basement perfectly aligned with those of the doll. It was clear that they both belonged to each other. Back when Kyle discovered the doll in his attic, he disposed of it immediately because he believed that it was causing all of the negative energy in his house. So it was weird that he was still hearing knocking sounds and things of the sort. Trust me though, everything adds up after you watch this one final clip. Have a watch.
It's happening again. I can hear it again. I know. I'll be right back. It's happening again. I can hear it. Do y'all hear it too? Is it coming from the floor? Or is it coming? I can't tell where it's coming from. I can't tell where it's coming from. Well, we thought we were going to bed, but that just happened. So we both decided to come out here on the gazebo and sit here for a little bit. I don't think we're going to get a lot of sleep tonight. Y'all heard that, right? I haven't even gone back and watched the video yet, so I hope you can hear it. But I'm going to post it. I'm just going to go ahead and post it here in a second.
Both Kyle and his wife heard the knocking sounds once again, and it was hard to not believe that a real thing was down there. The common theory that most of the audience came to believe is that the doll of which the eyes belonged to found its way back to the house and used the wooden peg entrance as a way to break in. It now resided underneath their family home and caused as much disruption as it possibly could as revenge for its harsh treatment. In the following video, a daughter and her mother were both in their sitting room having some coffee and watching television when an unexpected guest decided to show up. The duo had been planning this catch-up for a long time now, as the mother was becoming elderly and her daughter lived quite far away, so it was rare that they were able to see each other. There was no better way to utilize a day off work than to tend to her mother for the daughter who was named Ilana. Roughly half an hour into the conversation, though, something happened that none of them would have ever expected, and it put them both into a state of utter shock. I am about to expose you to the clip, but before I do, did you know that you can have your clips featured in my future videos? All you have to do is email hauntertvofficial@gmail.com and be sure to attach the clips that you want me to include. Furthermore, you must offer a brief description of what happened and why it happened, so that I can craft an accurate story surrounding it. With that said, Here is the frightening clip that Alana caught on her phone.
Still happening over there. I think he's getting the headphones. I think he's getting the fucking headphones. What's happening over there, George? George! George! Oh my god! George, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on?
Strangely, the headphones in the top drawer started to make subtle movements, and Alana's mother was the first to notice it. She pointed it out to her daughter, who thought she was seeing things at first, but then things became even more wild. The headphones catapulted themselves off from the drawer onto the floor and creeped up on the duo, who entered freeze mode rather than flight. Shortly after, they came to a standstill and peace was restored in the household, but this is something that none of them will ever forget. On May the 16th of 2025, so very recently, a video was uploaded to TikTok that went viral, and for the right reasons. It was a video regarding paranormal activity, and a man called William believed that he had managed to catch a poltergeist in action on camera, and so he uploaded the footage to TikTok. It is important to note that his apartment has been haunted for roughly 2 weeks now, so this was not a one-time experience. Furthermore, he was in the house by himself because his son was at school, and he was 100% certain of this, so anything that could be depicted as a real human being was not a real human. With that said, enjoy the clip.
Excuse me. Are you back there again? This has become its favorite spot. Yeah, and there he is. Okay, that's enough water, please. Okay. Everyone can see you in their reflection, bud. Everyone can see you in their reflection. And it's gone. Okay. I know he's not in here, but I just want anyone who's watching to see. This is too small, but just look, it's not. I just wanted you to see. The cabinets are knocking again. I'm leaving. That's enough for today.
From the tap coming onto certain objects making slight movements, this was very unsettling for William, but nothing amassed to the fear scale of the main event in this video. A shadow figure was caught in the reflection of the refrigerator, and it slowly moved until it was out of sight. William was in hot pursuit and entered the room that this happened in, but to his dismay, there was nobody there. This confirmed that what he witnessed was a ghostly apparition, and the thought alone of this possibility terrified him. Sam and his brother were both in Sam's room because he claimed something far beyond belief. He went to his brother and explained that his drawers were continuously opening without any human interaction, and that it wasn't just one of them, it was random ones, at random intervals. Despite not believing him, his brother gave him the solution of recording the drawers until it next happened and informing their parents about the situation so that they could try and figure out what it was, and he took up his advice. Sam didn't only show it to his parents though, he uploaded it to YouTube, and that is how I managed to get my hands on it. Take a look.
Something's wrong with my gesture. Just keep looking. Like, it's crazy. Just keep looking. There's no strain or nothing to it. It's something crazy keep on going on. And there's like, yeah, people might not believe it, but there's a demon in the house. Like, we got a demon apartment, so we gonna keep on looking. See, look, like, look at this. Do you have to see that? Like, that's crazy, dude. Like, there's no shrinking or nothing to it. It's a demon. Like, this is crazy. Yo, I gotta tell my parents, so I'm gonna stop the video. Thank you for watching.
Fortunately, things went exactly how Sam wanted them to, and the ghost did its thing. The drawer opened itself in a really unnatural way, and he sent it to the family group chat. However, his parents did not buy into the fact that it was a spirit nearly as easily. They refused and said the drawer was just loose and slanted, hence why it continued to move, and did not believe him. Sam was forced to live with the situation and still believes it was a ghost to this very day. The following video was filmed by Ian, also referred to as the Midwest Ghost Hunter. He is a pretty large YouTuber who has one goal from all of his videos: capture as many paranormal creatures as humanly possible. In this very long vlog, he decided to visit an abandoned and haunted asylum, where it was said that the patients were treated in a disappropriate manner, hence why they stuck around to haunt the place. We have had several videos, including clips from this adventure before, and they get more and more spooky each time, so take a look.
Okay, so I'm in the men's ward. I've got a thermal camera here. I'm gonna snap photos with this thing. See if I can get any cold spots. Are there any patients in any of these rooms? Just coming by to visit. Whoa. There is a giant cold spot in this room. Whoa, dude. Look at that. Oh, wait, never mind. Actually, I think it's the window. I mean, it would make sense. It's a lot colder out there than it is in here. Whew, false alarm. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I want. But I can't help but freak out when stuff like that starts happening. Is there anybody in here? Oh, weird. There's like a cold spot. Like a second one. Like there's the window. But then there's one next to it. And it's positioned right on this bed. Is there someone standing right here? If there's someone standing here, could you rattle that bed frame to let me know? It's not there anymore. Completely vanished. There was definitely something here. And there's no AC or vents or nothing. So I'm not sure how you would explain that. Is there anybody down this hallway? Hello? Oh God, that sounded like a breathy male voice just now. Where are you? I can hear you. Could you peek out of your room? Whoa. I'm getting another cold spot. It's standing right there. Right in that doorway. Oh gosh. And it's gone. Hello? Oh man. I could hear you, sir. What's your name? Oh my God. He is in this room right now. I hope you don't mind me coming in. If you're in here, make a noise. was that now? I'm not getting any more cold spots. But I'm definitely hearing stuff in here.
Ian was using some form of thermal device to detect the presence of spirits, and it worked by finding areas that were absurdly cold compared to others. This is a telltale sign of a paranormal presence, and definitely proved right, based on the findings shortly after. The spirit made sounds to indicate it was in the room to Ian, and he was fortunate to have captured this on camera for his YouTube channel. Speaking of YouTube channels, make sure to subscribe to mine, as there will be many more clips from this specific adventure conducted by Ian. Furthermore, remember to send over your paranormal clips for a feature in a future video. All you need to do is attach your clips to the email currently on screen alongside a brief description of what and why it happened. Two friends were spending time at a house one of them owned when things started to feel off. One of them mentioned a cold chill, and the other decided to start filming just in case.
Did you just experience something?
Bro, I swear to God, dude, I felt something really cold.
Really?
What? Dude, what the Oh my God.
What the Oh shit! Dude, I kid you not, there's like literally nobody in there. What the
What follows is a chaotic few seconds. Loads of strange things begin happening rapidly, all on camera, building up to the most shocking moment when two objects fly off the kitchen counter on their own. There's no one else in the house, and nothing around that could have caused it. The owner of the home was left speechless watching it back. This wasn't just creaky floors or strange feelings. Something in the house wanted to make itself known. Yama, a passionate ghost hunter from China, had always chased the thrill of the unexplained. One night, he decided to explore a well-known abandoned house where the previous owner had passed away under unclear circumstances. He brought his camera, as usual, ready to document. While walking through the quiet halls, Yama stepped out of one room, and that's when the tapping began. Rhythmic, deliberate, and coming from behind him. Suddenly, an item launched itself off a shelf and hit the floor hard. Yama rushed back in and searched the entire space, filming every corner. There was no one there. Nothing. He laughed it off in the moment, chalking it up to old wood and imagination, but admits that was the one time he felt like maybe he wasn't alone. Even if he says he's still skeptical, Yama hasn't been back since. Angel Martinez had always been fascinated by the paranormal. Exploring haunted and abandoned places had become a personal hobby, and when he heard stories about an old school at the edge of town, one that had been closed for years and surrounded by rumors of strange activity, he knew he had to see it for himself. On a cloudy night, he showed up with his camera and began filming from the outside. Almost immediately, he noticed something odd. Despite the school being disconnected from any power source, several lights inside were flickering on and off in a pattern that didn't feel random. He stayed outside for a while, trying to make sense of it, but eventually curiosity got the better of him.
Y esta sería la última aula que reviso en el rondín. Ah, como pueden ver, pues está un poco descuidada porque aquí han guardado las cosas que el colegio antes usaba. Escuché algo, pero no sé qué fue. Bueno, fue la 100 puta. Uy, fue la 100 puta. No joda. Ojalá que lo haya grabado. Ojalá que lo haya grabado.
Once inside, the air was heavy and the silence was sharp. Angel moved carefully through the dusty corridors, speaking softly into the camera as he filmed. Then it happened. A plastic chair in the middle of the room slid across the floor, not once, but twice. First a short scrape, then a sudden, more forceful slide. Angel froze for a moment, disbelief written all over his face, before turning and running out of the building as fast as he could. After the incident, Angel shared the video online, expecting people to dismiss it as fake or exaggerated. Instead, it gained unexpected traction, and many began messaging him about similar stories tied to that same school. While Angel hasn't gone back, he's now considering working with a small team to return and investigate further. A woman on TikTok who goes by the online alias Cello had noticed strange activity from her dog over the past few weeks. It was almost as if it sensed an unearthly presence in the house, and we all know that dogs are great with their senses. Cello took this into account and put great effort into working out what could be triggering this until finally she was exposed to it. Constant knocking, people called her crazy, and all sorts of unkind things, but eventually she proved them all wrong with video evidence alongside something else.
Okay, I'm so crazy, right? Here you go. Baby's terrified. Hold on. I know. You're okay. You're okay. I know.
Not only was the dog in discomfort again, but the door was caught opening and closing by itself just shortly after Cello left the camera to film. Of course, the dog chose to be brave and went to investigate, but the reaction from Cello was far different. She refused to go anywhere near the door until someone of high expertise came to check, but due to financial struggles, she is not able to seek professional assistance. In case she sees this, make sure to offer your advice in the comments. The following set of videos were caught in the Netherlands by a woman called Sabia, and her story is truly on the terrifying ends of things. About 3 months ago, Sabia had no belief in the paranormal world whatsoever, but one day, her now ex-boyfriend asked her to visit a haunted location together. Without any fear or second-guessing, she accepted the offer and was excited to laugh at how pathetic the fake hauntings were, and it lived up to her expectations. Whilst there, Sabia didn't become frightened once, and came up with reasons why everything was anything but a ghost. However, little did she know that when the duo arrived home, things would get weird.
Stil. Dat is dat vieze, creepy ass keukentje. Kijk, dat bedoel ik dus. Dat is het licht. Fuck, ik kom niet zo. Dit gaan we doen weer. Zie, er is hier dus. Dit is dus het lichtknopje. Het is helemaal niet. Deze deur is gewoon dicht. Er is hier gewoon echt helemaal niemand. Fuck. Zie je zo'n ding? Kijk. Dat bedoel ik dus. Dat bedoel ik dus. Oh my god. Er is hier echt helemaal niemand. Oh fuck. Nou. Dit is het weer, hè?
Sabia's boyfriend at the time was fast asleep, and she saw the door to the room move on its own accord, so decided to get out of bed. Cautiously, she walked around until she saw the light of the kitchen flashing at a consistent basis. Worried, she approached the scene, but nothing was in there, making her go back to bed defeated. After some pondering, she came to the conclusion that her boyfriend was the culprit behind this, and deemed it as a prank. Since she was the one paying the most rent for the household, she told him that he was staying at his dad's tonight, and he listened, so she had it all to herself, which should have resulted in peace and quiet. But unfortunately, this was not the case, and this happened. craziest part about this isn't even what happened, but the fact it proved the innocence of Sabia's boyfriend. The fact the hauntings were so prominent as well, with many items moving on their own, meant that whatever actually was behind all this torment was a powerful thing, and forced her to believe that ghosts were in fact real. Sabia called her boyfriend immediately, who broke up with her for not putting her trust in her, despite how much he denied that he pranked her. This meant the next night was another night alone for her, but without the anticipation of peace and quiet.
Fucking licht elke keer. Oh. Dat was een stem. Dat was een stem. Oh, Jezus. Wat is dat? Oh, what the fuck, joh.
Again, strange things happened, with the most prominent being the voice that was heard. Sabia had no children, and the voice of a little girl echoed around the house, but at least this let her identify what was actually haunting her. The weird thing was that she had never been in association with somebody of that age, so it couldn't be someone from her life. With no means of true escape, Sabia asked her father, which is ironic considering her boyfriend's situation, to stay over there, and he said yes. Unfortunately, sleep wasn't even possible at his place due to constant notifications from her camera. At almost midnight, the house was going crazy, and it really is saddening to see. I wish Sabia the best of luck in escaping this spirit. A worker was having a great day at work due to how little customers they were getting, which meant that he received more breaks during his shift. At around 1 p.m., he decided that he was going to eat his dinner earlier because of this privilege. But little did he know that something else would be in the room with him. He was usually all alone in the break room, but not this time. This time was far worse than the fear of loneliness.
Okay, so I'm sitting here eating my lunch, and that apple just moved. Oh, shit!
For some reason, an apple moved a slight distance, and this caused the worker to take out his phone and begin to film the incident. He thought that nothing else would happen, but recording would be worth the slight chance, and it paid off. He managed to capture the apple and make an almighty movement off from the table, and it was clear that nothing visible caused this. Furthermore, it would take some mighty wind to cause that, and based on the fact that it was indoors and nothing else was moving, this was not the cause. There is only one real solution. It was a ghost. George and the rest of his family were all in the kitchen waiting for their mother to serve dinner when all of a sudden they noticed something really out of the ordinary going on. One of the cups that they had set up on the table for dinner started to move on its own accord, and George thought this was a good time to record. It is important to note that nobody in the house had ever experienced anything paranormal before, and this was a first-time experience, making it much more mysterious.
Mira, aquí anda un muerto. Mira, mira, mira. Nobody here. Mira, mira.
Moving?
Mira, pues.
God!
Ay, tú.
Smile. Ya va llegando acá. Uy. ¿Sí sabes esto o no? Porque ven las cosas que asustan. Ay.
As you can see, the cup was moving without anybody interacting with it, and as far as we could tell, no force was acting upon it either. No matter how much you zoom in or how slow you actually make the video, it does not show any signs of strings or items that could have interfered with the incident. This video seems to be very authentic, and I fear for the family, but if you find anything wrong with it, then feel free to let me know in the comment section. In the following video, Thomas was in his room drinking some booze and watching television about the paranormal when something fitting to the activity happened. When the event happened, Tom did not believe that his eyes were seeing what they were due to the amount of booze he had put into his system, and it could have easily been a hallucination. Fortunately though, he was smart enough to have taken out his phone and started recording the situation so that later on he could look back and see if it was truly real again. And to his surprise, it was. But before I show you the footage, did you know that your paranormal footage can actually be included in future Haunter videos? All you have to do is email hauntedvofical@gmail.com with your footage alongside a description of the backstory and what happened, and you have a chance to be featured. Anyway, here is the clip.
I was laying in bed watching some goddamn shit. This turned off. Then I went to go grab a drink, and for some... Are you fucking joking? Can you please stop? Do you see? This is starting to get more sketched out. Actually, to be honest with you, like, I'm starting to get more scared. Like, as we go along.
Strangely, the glass bottle moved by itself and had Tom questioning whether he had drunk a few shots too many. After this incident, Tom took no action on the ghost, praying that it was a one-time occurrence, and due to no more updates since the incident, we are left in the dark too. All that we can do is hope the spirit left him after this. Ethan was in the short period of his life where he had no responsibilities, as he had decided to take a gap year before entering his university studies. The year was coming to an end, and his mother agreed that for the final month he could live in her house one last time, and Ethan was maximizing this opportunity by having fun with all of the items that he cherished. One thing that he loved was the dartboard, and as a child, he used to play with it every single morning without fail. This is why he is such a good darts player. However, on what could be his last ever time playing with the board, something extraordinary happened, and here it is.
Dart time.
emerald red. What the?
What did you do?
Nothing. The garbage can just fell off the table.
Are you sure you didn't hit it or something?
No, it was over by the piano. Okay, I'm done playing darts for a while.
Just after he threw his third and final dart, a bucket on the table beside the dartboard collapsed to the ground, and the thud was so loud that even Ethan's mother heard it. She later asked Ethan for the video once he said what happened, and they both had a similar thought come into their minds. Ethan's father had passed away 3 months ago, and one thing he used to always do when playing darts is throw something to the ground to put his opponent off. It made sense that this could have been him, but was it far-fetched to say? Not in my opinion. A paranormal surge is far worse than other paranormal situations, and the reason for this is quite obvious, but let me explain what one is first. In basic terms, it is when more than 5 haunting incidents happen within a minute of each other and can mean one of 2 things. You are either dealing with an extremely powerful spirit, typically an evil one, or you are dealing with several spirits that are working together to make your life a misery. The video that I am about to show you perfectly encaptivated a paranormal surge, and it was an extremely bad one. All sorts of things happened, and surprisingly, calling this a paranormal surge would be a bit of an understatement. The way things were happening in all sorts of rooms says to me that this was the act of several normal spirits, but it is not unheard of for a demon to cause this much distress by itself. The DS family is a family that posts their shenanigans to TikTok for the world to see, and they are actually pretty big with a follower count of 44,000. Their content used to be innocent and fun with their kids doing all sorts of goofy things, but nowadays that fun and quirky side is long gone. This is because they started to get haunted by a poltergeist that they have not been able to identify or combat, and it always seems to show itself at nighttime when the children are asleep. Here is a video of the mother catching the ghost in the act, as per usual. all sorts of ghostly noises and knocks happened around the house, and it is important to note that only the mother and the children were in the house. It was evident that the children were sleeping and the mother was filming, so none of them could have made these sounds happen. This was most definitely the return of their haunter. This was the last straw for the mother, and she is currently in contact with a ghost hunter over cleansing her household. Feel free to wish her luck in the comments. There are all sorts of methods that a spirit can use to haunt you, and one of the most fear-instilling ones is called an apparition. An apparition is when a ghost shows itself to the real world, whether it is as an orb, a shadow, or a full-fledged human being, reincarnation. But the word doesn't tend to be thrown out there for something as simple as an orb. In the upcoming video, all kinds of things happen, and at first the woman believes it is the ghost of a child, and you will likely think the same. However, she does end up being disproved. As you could see, all kinds of things were happening, but they were centered around the kids' toys, which is what led the woman to believe the poltergeist was that of a little child. Little did she know that the scariest was yet to come. As she looked into the window, she could see a shadow taller than her leaning over her shoulder. And if this truly was the shadow of the spirit causing all of this, then it could not have been a kid. She had every right to feel the most terrified she had ever been, and she took her daughter Lucy to sleep at her grandma's for the foreseeable future to keep her safe. Over the past 10 or so videos on this channel, we have included clips from the exact same exploration, and I am proud to announce that this saga is finally going to come to an end. I am talking about the Midwest ghost hunter's adventure into a haunted manor, and he spent the entire night alone there, capturing all sorts of paranormal instances, hence why we were able to gather so much content from it. Well, all that I have to say is enjoy the last ones.
What is that? Those look like almost like fingernail clippings in there. Yeah, I'm definitely not touching those. What is that? Holy sh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What was that? What was that? It was the coat hanger! How do you explain that? Oh, I'm sorry, Hank. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I'll leave you alone if you want me to. Do you want me to leave? Okay. I'm leaving. I am out of here. Is there anyone in any of these rooms? Right now I'm just taking pictures everywhere. Is there anybody in this row? What was that? That was a crazy weird sound. It came from the bathroom. Over here. Is there somebody in there? Whoa, it almost looks like somebody's in there. What the heck is that? It just looked like somebody's sitting, like in the bathtub.
The spirit started creating thudding noises, and it was almost as if it was trying to lure the Midwest ghost hunter to the location it wanted. Due to the ghost hunter wanting to find paranormal activity, it followed both of the thuds, which led him to a bathtub, and what he saw was most definitely jaw-dropping. A mist appeared to be sitting in the tub, and when he looked away and back for a split second, it was gone. Being the brave man he is, the Midwest ghost hunter was not going to let this slide, though. He went in to investigate.
But for the sake of research, there's nobody. Damn, that was creepy. I'm sorry to have disturbed you. Whoa! Oh! That freaking curtain just moved! Oh God, how do you explain that now? This is so freaking crazy. I'm speechless. I mean, what the hell? So this is room 17 and 18. And this is where all those assaults took place. Now, that sounds pretty horrible on paper, but a lot of people theorize that it may not have actually been assaults, but instead...
As he theorized, the apparition had completely vanished from the tub, and he was ready to leave the room, but suddenly the curtain moved alone. This might be the last we see of his manor exploration, but this will not be the last we see of the Midwest ghost hunter, so subscribe. Also, don't forget to email your ghostly findings to hauntedofficial@gmail.com with a description for me to create a story round. Christopher Aron was walking around his daughter's bedroom, just tidying up and making sure everything was in order before bedtime. It was a quiet night, but as he moved through the room, he couldn't shake the strange feeling crawling over him. It was like the air had shifted, or as if he wasn't completely alone. Trusting his instincts, he pulled out his phone and started recording, hoping he was just being overly cautious.
Cat's downstairs. It wasn't her. I guess that's my son. Huh. Any other signs? Can you open the other door? Can you open the other oven door? Will you open the other door? Thank you. Now I know you're here. Can I get any other sign? Any other sign at all?
In the footage, the toy oven door slowly creaked open by itself. There's no one near it, no vibrations, no obvious cause. The motion is smooth and unsettling, as if something unseen had deliberately opened it. Christopher stands still for a moment, caught off guard, then lowers the camera with a confused expression. After checking the toy thoroughly and finding nothing wrong, no loose parts or built-in springs, he steps out of the room. He replays the footage a few times in the hallway, growing more uneasy with each watch. It wasn't dramatic, but it felt too intentional to ignore. Something about that quiet, controlled movement gave him chills. He doesn't want to jump to conclusions, but he also can't forget what he saw. Whatever is happening, it's real enough to keep him on edge. Just after midnight, Leandro was lying in bed when he heard strange rustling noises coming from the back room. At first, he thought maybe something had fallen, but the sounds kept going, too sharp, too deliberate. Curious and slightly on edge, he grabbed his phone and walked over to check it out.
1 de julho de 2023. Nunca deixe sua porta aberta, ou isso vai acontecer na sua casa.
Será que é gato que tá aqui? Mexendo nas coisas? Mas não tem ninguém aqui. Ai, caramba. Acho que tem alguém aí. Que isso? Para! Que isso? Quem tá aí? Tranquei. Meu Deus, cara. Mãe.
O que tá acontecendo?
Não sei. Parece que tem alguém aqui.
Nossa, tem que parar de ver esses vídeos aqui. Eu tô com medo já dessas coisas. Não tem ninguém,
Mas...
tem batendo na porta e vem que é.
When he opened the door, the entire room was in disarray. Items were scattered all over the place, as if something had been tearing through it in a frenzy. It reminded him of the way a cat might destroy a room, but the problem was, he didn't have a cat. He stood there in silence for a moment, trying to process what he was seeing, then stepped back out and shut the door. That's when the handle began to rattle violently, like something was trying to get out. Startled, Leandro flung the door open again, but this time, the room was completely still. No movement, no sound, no sign of anyone or anything inside. He checked the back door too, just in case. It was locked, dead-bolted, no way in or out. Now he's even more unsettled than before, knowing whatever it was didn't leave through the door, if it left at all. It was just past midnight when the mother heard her baby moving around through the monitor. At first, it sounded like normal restlessness, but something about it made her uneasy. She grabbed the infant optics camera and tuned in for a better look, just to be sure everything was all right.
Okay. That's not possible. Is that the light? What the fuck is that? What is that? What is it? Look at the way, look! It's lingering. Is it the light outside? Like, what is happening right now? There's no other light. How is this possible? Like, there's no pinhole empty. Like, the curtains, I pulled the curtains closed. You guys, what the fuck is this? And it's not leaving. It's getting near her. Oh my god. Did she just touch it? Where did it go?
On the screen, a strange glowing orb was floating slowly around the crib. It wasn't dust, and it wasn't a reflection. The light had direction, almost like it was exploring. Then it drifted closer to the baby, and just as her child reached out and touched it, the light vanished instantly, as if it had never been there at all. The mother's heart dropped. She rushed into the room but found nothing unusual, just her baby lying calmly in the crib, looking up at her. The whole thing felt surreal. She checked the camera feed again to make sure she hadn't imagined it. The footage was still there, clear as day, Some believe orbs like that are signs of spirits or lingering energy, and if that's true, she's not sure what it wanted with her child. Since that night, she hasn't left the camera off for a single second. Jason and a few of his friends were messing around inside the old county jail, a place long since shut down and barely touched. His dad knew the building manager, so getting access wasn't hard. They weren't ghost hunters, not even close. They were just teenagers filming a parody of those ghost shows, goofing around and pretending to chase spirits. Nothing serious, just laughs. But everything changed when they got back and started editing the footage.
All right, so we're in the phase of the investigation now where everybody breaks off in their own little areas with, a handy cam, and we're just sort of checking around to see if we can find anything on our own. And hopefully, each one of us finds our own evidence and our own personal stories. Just sort of checking around.
In one of the shots, as Jason walks past a holding cell window, something unnatural comes into view. There's a face, clear as day, right behind the glass. It's not Jason, and it's not his friends, who were all accounted for at the booking desk behind the camera. The cell itself was locked and being used for storage. But in the frame, a man's face is pressed against the glass, like he's screaming in silence. And as Jason's body moves past the window, the face fades away like smoke. They hadn't noticed it while filming, only later. Jason swears that room was empty. He doesn't know who it was, and he doesn't really want to. Whatever they caught in that cell wasn't part of the joke. William Davies had long suspected his house was haunted, but that night he felt something more than just eerie. A cold chill made him uneasy, like something bad was about to happen. Wanting to capture whatever was causing the strange sensations, he set up his camera in the kitchen and started recording.
Shit. The fuck? Can't be normal. I can't take any more of this. Battery's going dead. Fucking piece of shit. What? Makes no fucking sense. Something's there. Something's definitely there. You alright, Benja? You alright? Can you send some? You can send some, can't you? They're there, aren't they? I can see you, just see you in the corner there, dog.
The footage shows the cupboard door opening all by itself. William quickly closes it, but moments later it opens again on its own. He shuts it once more, only to feel a sudden movement behind him. He turns around slowly, his heart pounding, convinced something unseen is right there. The atmosphere in the room feels heavy and filled with a dark presence. William didn't stay to find out more. He decided it was time to call in professional help to figure out exactly what was haunting his home. Whatever was there wasn't going to let him rest easy anytime soon.